So travel writer Linda Kissam, the food, wine, and shopping diva, visited Madrid, Spain, and enjoyed 4 fabulous days of local cuisine, from churros and paella to sangria and hot chocolate, to history and culture, and I mean ancient stuff, like really deep, rich history, and shopping. One of her most important things is shopping. And Linda's a regular Big Blend Radio and TV magazine contributor, as well as in our Parks and Travel magazine. You can see her articles. The best thing to do is just go to blendradioandtv.com and click on the expert department and click on Diva Linda. But don't, be soft with that, because she's a diva and she's got high heel shoes. But she's also the president of the International Food, Wine, and Travel Writers Association, and you can keep up with all her travels. Go to her website. It's allingoodtaste.info. And also we have Stephanie McMillan here. She is the executive director of Springfield Tourism Commission in Central Kentucky. She's sitting in for the conversation because all of this is part of our 11th anniversary of Big Blend Radio and our Champagne Sunday show. So welcome back, Diva Linda. It's been a long time.
Oh, thank you. It's wonderful. I'm really happy to get to talk about Madrid today.
Looking at the photos, I have to tell you, I'm pretty jealous. And Stephanie, have you been to Madrid?
No, it's on the bucket list too.
Yeah, everyone, you can go to blendradioandtv.com, just type in Madrid, and you'll see Linda's article and some of the photos in a slideshow. But it seems like such a quality way of life. It's just kind of that vibe that I got, that people enjoy spending time when they eat and go out to eat or drink together or take a walk. It just seems like it's about quality of life, in relationships with people, where you spend time and not just slurp your coffee down and run.
Yeah, I think if you try to slurp your coffee down and run, they look at you like you're crazy. You're given time to relax and enjoy whatever the activity it is that you've come to see. And you see people walking on the streets all the time. Nothing opens until about 10 a.m. and, closes very late in the evening. So a little bit of a switch for me, because I was coming off boat life where you've got to get up early off the boat and see what you're going to see or do what you're going to do. And then, of course, before that, boat life in Washington, which is the same thing. You've got to, pull out early and get to your destination and move on. So interesting to try to adjust yourself from boat life to urban life, because Madrid is unlike anything I've done in Spain before. You remember when I went on that 100 Cavas in 100 Days tour? And,
oh, yeah.
I remember that, and that was seeing a lot of beautiful vintages and vineyards and countryside and port stuff. And this was urban. This was I didn't see any signs of boats or anything else, which is nice, because I've seen enough boats for now. And it's just and we chose to, there were 2 hotels that we were looking at. One is a very modern, unique Marriott, I think, boutique and hotel, which is very nice, very new. And the other one is more of a local chain that is quite old. The building is quite old, and so you have a little tiny elevator, one that sort of snaps shut on you, and sort of rattles its way up and down and stuff. So we chose and they're right across the street from each other. But we chose to sort of put ourselves right in the smack dab middle of the city, so that we could walk or take transportation and not have to drive.
Mm. And you talk about in your article about the hop-on, hop-off buses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we like that.
So earlier in the show, we were talking about stealing your question about, what does success look like for you in the future. Mm-hmm. And so our Big Blend party bus is going to make some changes. Party bus is becoming a hop-on, hop-off bus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so our radio parties. And Stephanie, don't you think that's a cool idea? It's a hop-on, hop-off. That's what we're going to. Our little bus is going to make some changes, and it's because it's like you can go anywhere. I mean, it's really kind of neat, because you could. Do they circle around like the city, and then you could just pick it up anywhere you want?
Right.
Cool.
So they generally, depending on what city, although it's a big franchise, so I'm sure they get directions on how to do this. There's generally 2 routes, and your ticket lets you get on 2 different buses taking 2 different routes. So you could literally spend the whole day from 10 a.m. to 7 or 8 p.m. Doing these tours, and
Wow.
it's really smart. So they just give you a map, a set of headphones to listen to, and when you come to a destination you think is interesting, you just hop off the bus. Then you mess around for however long you want, and then you pick up the bus either back there or you look at the route and you pick it up somewhere else. It's really easy, generally
That's
not
smart.
real crowded. I've even been on these things, of course, in the height of summer, and they run enough buses so that you're not standing. You're able to sit, and you can sit up on top, or you can sit, which is an open top, or you can sit in the bottom, out of the sun and so forth. And the headsets are pretty good. You can hear most everything, and I think they have like 39 languages, so whatever it is you're speaking,
Wow.
it'll be there for you as well. So it's real. It's well organized, and what I like about it is they don't always take the urban route. They often go into neighborhoods. I don't know how they get permission to do that, but you get to see local architecture, and you get to see often, where some of the stops you're not going to make, like parks or other interesting activities that it's not a stop, but you can see it. And I like seeing people's houses and all that sort of stuff, other centers that you're not going to stop at, but you can see, and maybe you can make your way there later. So I think all in all, I think worldwide it's about $30 or less for a whole day of being able to explore a city in a very safe and organized way.
I like that. I like that.
English is how easy can you get around? I mean, if you don't speak Spanish, how easy can you get around?
Honestly, all my travels, almost everywhere now speaks English. And in Madrid, they are very English-oriented. So there's never a problem. I never felt that I wasn't able to speak to anybody at any time. They have a lot of English-speaking tourists, so not a problem whatsoever. Very easy to get around. My biggest number one tip, however, lately, and specifically there, if you're going to walk, take your handheld, your PDA, your smartphone, whatever you have, and use your GPS. We found that just saying, let's go to the chocolate spot, and then let's go to the paella place. Well, they could be right next to each other, but if you don't see it on a map plotted, you wouldn't understand that. So you should figure out all the things you want to see, plot where they are, and then sort of make your plan from there. But it's very easy now with this GPS, walkable GPS.
I get your drift, Eva Linda. I get your drift on this. You know how good I am about watching GPS and, following those directions.
Well, you can choose to ignore it, as we know you sometimes do, but, it's okay. They have that recalculate thing. I mean, and we certainly have done that because in many cities, they don't actually have signs on the alleyways or signs on the small streets. So, we've done our share of going down the wrong alleyway or, said that can't possibly be the street, and there it was. So recalculate is a wonderful feature on any GPS function.
Well, what I think is really important about it is, like, you have a limited amount of time. And, there's times when, that I do my get lost thing. And it is really more an adventure exploring thing, or sometimes it's just, if you're out in the middle of the boonies, it's different. But a city, they know, GPS knows everything and Google knows everything. And but you want to make the most of your trip. And I think that's important. It seems, though, I'm into the food thing of Madrid. I had no idea that candy, like violet-infused candy, was such a big deal. And they look so pretty. It's like you're eating art. Like, did you eat it, or did you get scared to eat it?
No, but they give you samples when you're there, and so then you begin to see that they're the most fantastic thing to have at tea. With your tea, they're just delicate, and it would be great for Mother's Day, anything. So I bought this year my Christmas presents to my closest family and friends was a global Christmas box, and that was one of the things I put in there were these violet candies, and they're just little tiny boxes of these gorgeous little violet flavored candies, and I don't know, you just feel so feminine when you eat them. But it's really, it's a very busy shop. It's very small. They only let 3 people in at a time. And it's no violets for you if you ignore that rule.
Candy
so,
Nazi.
I know, the violet Nazi.
Yeah, so you have to be really careful to follow the rules, and there's a reason. You get in there and you turn the wrong way, especially with a large person. A display has gone down. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but they're doing quality over quantity, but I think it's very interesting that they're using violet. I never even thought of I know we can eat violas and things like that, and people put them in their salads, and and I think it's really cool. It looks pretty, and I've had flower petals and stuff, but I always feel like, I'm eating a flower. But anyway,
I know. But they're really tasty.
But do you think they would go
really
with champagne?
Are.
I'm trying to get the flavor a little bit because.
Yes. Tea, champagne, something lighter, Prosecco perhaps, some of your lighter umbrella drinks, anything that would be like, their hot chocolate or even probably sangria would be a bit too much for it. It has to be sort of light and airy and bubbly, and it's just I don't know, I just can't explain how fun it is to sort of pour these in your hand, like when you poured little dot candies in your hands. And they just cover your hand, and they just make you look like you're in a field of flowers.
Oh, wow. I want that. And you found tea there,
too.
It's
so interesting. I mean, it's so different.
Yeah, I love to find things like this. And I know that you're a big tea person, and gold rim for Diva Linda. That's how it's got to work. But tea is a big deal, and you found tea there.
Yeah, so they have various types of tea shops. I went into probably 3. 2 were mistakes, and 1 was a great find. And the great find was called Teaco, Tekoe. And it would look like pretty much any boutique type of tea shop you would find anywhere in the world, including the U.S. And there were tea tastings, but they had very different kinds of teas, and there's sustainable attitudes, and just a really great place to sit and, just sort of recollect yourself, because you are walking in these cities. You really aren't. You could take Uber, you could take cabs, but it's either buses or walking, and walking really is a great thing to do in Madrid. So this is a great place to sort of stop and refuel and talk about why they're using the teas they use and that sort of thing.
Cool. Now, I wanted to ask you, Stephanie, I know what you're putting in your tea in Kentucky.
No.
I know about that. I know about that
too.
It's
B and T.
the B and T, the bourbon and tea. In winter, I know it's cold over there right now, so I know what she's doing. But, Diva Linda, did I tell you about coffee leaf tea? I didn't know if you've had it before, because
I don't think I had that. No.
Check it out in this
leaf.
issue. Yeah, it's in this issue of Big Blend Radio and TV Magazine, the January-February 2018.
Okay.
Wise Monkey Coffee Leaf Tea. It's harvested in Nicaragua, and so it's so that the farmers have year-round work. It's environmentally friendly. They plant coffee every time they do anything. They are adding to the rainforest as they do it too. It's really
wonderful.
cool. It's a really cool thing, and I just wondered, because I know you're into teas and stuff, if you've tried it, because apparently
different. It's
very ancient Ethiopian, and as soon as I tasted it, it reminded me of Kenya from how the tea was made over there. With some of the different tribes. There's this creaminess to it, and I just wondered if you've had it. I'll send you some.
I have not, but I will order it. Yeah, that sounds like, great. I had cocaine tea, yeah.
Yeah, and apparently it's like green tea, but it doesn't give you as much of, it's that level of caffeine. So, I was just curious. Yeah, I know, it's really cool, so I just, because of that. But, okay, so you have candy, then chocolate. What's this? Chocolateria. Ooh.
So there's a very famous old chocolate shop, and I certainly cannot pronounce it, but I think it's Gina's, and it's been around since 1894, and I don't know that it's changed that much from when it opened its doors, but it's beautiful marble counters, and there's usually a line out the door of people wanting to get in, and it's a great. They make their big thing is churros and hot chocolate, and the churros are not the Mexican ones that we enjoy in California or the Southwest. It's they're a little bit lighter and fluffier, I think, and they come really long and skinny. They're just lovely, and you dip them in this hot chocolate. But it's not like a hot chocolate we have here in the U.S. It's a really creamy, really dense, creamy. So if you were able to do more than 2 cups of this, I would salute you. I mean, 1 cup pretty much puts you under the table, but you would take 1 churro, and long skinny churro, and you would dip it in your hot chocolate, and that's quite a treat. It's very, very popular, and I can see why, but it is not like the hot chocolate we have here. It's more of almost a dessert in itself. But what? And then they make their own chocolates, and there's pastries, and there's you name it, and they're very used to tourists, and if you can't pronounce what it is you want, they figure it out by the first couple of vowels you get out. So really, really nice, and you get to sit with the locals, I think, which is always nice too, and lots of teenagers in there after school, and so I think that's just a great pick-me-up, and highly, highly recommend that. It's in a alleyway that you have to know where you're going to find, but you could ask anybody and they would just point you in the right direction.
Wow, I want some now. Like
it sounds really
I
good.
know. I've almost it's like a
Winter.
Spanish fondue in a way because you're dipping churros and
probably
yeah. I want to try that.
I think there's bourbon in there. Yeah,
I was going to say, Stephanie, I'm
it's
like,
good.
I think you need to go to Madrid just to connect them with bourbon and put it in there.
I do. They need me there.
It's a whole new tourism marketing thing for Stephanie. It's like, excuse me, can you pay for my trip so I can go take our bourbon over there?
There you go.
I like that. But the food is interesting because I know we know how you love Mexican food, tacos and good salsa.
Yes.
And the salsa there's a thing.
Yes.
You and I have that
yes.
Man,
yes.
if you do, yeah. So you're looking for tacos in Madrid, and I would think you'd have tacos there like normal, or no?
No, that's not what they offer. Seafood is big and other things, but really tacos are not. And that was my thinking. I was thinking, boy, this is going to be great. I'm going to have all the tacos on, but I had to really search. And then if I found a taco place, I didn't want it to be too expensive because I'm not sure that would be local dining. So I just happened to come across an ad for these. It's called Tacos, Takos El Pastor, and they warn you that if you're going to come to this, that you're going to probably have to stand in line. But it's so cheap. So and once again, this is not in the main part of the city, but it's not so far away. That it was about 30 minutes from the hotel. With GPS, you can get there. And sure enough, there was a little bit of a line. We came really early, hoping to avoid the crowd, and I'm glad we did because by the time we were through, there was line out the door and around the corner. And basically, you just go up, and they have a menu attached to the counter, just to the counter. And so then you point at the things you want, and then you take a table. You're not allowed to take a table until you have ordered. We tried that, and we got chewed out. So anyway. We
table Nazis. Here we go.
Yeah. So it's beer, soda, and tacos, or a couple other things. And we tried their tamales, but I would not necessarily recommend those. But the tacos were they're street tacos, so soft, flour shelled, and the meats are just done to perfection. And it was a great experience. A lot of times you spend an awful lot of money because you don't know where you're going, and so you just sort of go to the tourist place. So I really try to get out and about and see what everybody else is doing. Lots of different nationalities there, a lot of students in there. I mean, it's a very small place, so but it's just packed, businessmen and so forth, and it was a great experience. Highly recommend that.
Wow, who would think, And paella, because that's the thing. And
I thought it came from Spain.
Yeah, but Madrid's going to be different. And you said that you actually had to really search for paella, just like paella. I don't know if I'm pronouncing either one right here, but I mean, you had to search for that to find it, like the tacos.
I did, because I thought Spain was paella, because the last 2 places that I went to, it was everywhere, and I just wasn't thinking. This is not a port town. They're not so enamored of seafood paella and so forth. So there are paella shops for those of us who think paella is everywhere in Madrid, but you have to be really careful because it's not necessarily the good stuff. And the local, funny saying is that if you go to the wrong place, you'll be eating microwave paella. So, just be careful. But we found one called La Barraca, another one off on a teeny side road. They were having construction, so didn't seem to bother anybody because the place was full. But you have to have a reservation. But you sort of had to jump over holes and around beams and steel bars and stuff. But, and somehow they'd taken down the sign, so we would begin just to open doors where it said, "You are here." One place was a dress shop, so that wasn't smart. And the other place was somebody's apartment, so that wasn't
I think
too
you
smart.
need new shoes for this. I'm buying shoes. Yeah, well, I had my, my London Flies on, so, they're pretty durable. But so it's you get in there, and that's another experience where they don't want you out in 15 minutes. They're not turning tables. They want you to be there for quite a while. I would think that an hour would seem to them to be rushed. So everything has its time and pace, and you're not going to get one thing and then they pick up the plate and give you another. That's not how it works at all. So they're very careful to let you digest between entrees, and some of the best paella I've ever had. Really, really good. Lots of great side dishes and olives and all the wonderful sangria and other sorts of things that I love. And I would say it was mid-priced. They said it was going to be high-priced, but I would just say for American taste it was mid-priced. And for my taste, I think they were using really high-end ingredients. They say they are, but, proof is in the pudding, as they say, and I just thought that was really, really good. The proof is in the paella.
Well,
there is
a difference, between what we do in this country and what other countries do, and one of them being the level of the in and out. How fast can we move you through the restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you the first time you go to a different country and you're waiting for your meal, and you've got your drink or coffee or tea or whatever, and they figured that's you for 20 minutes. And
that's right.
We're, as Americans, are like, well, come on, where's the food?
Yeah, why don't we have it already?
What? And they're like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah, and I think when you, many of us as tourists are on timelines, and I don't think that that's a good idea in some of these foodie cities because they really almost get offended when you say, "I'm ready for my check." Why now? What,
what we do wrong?
What would be wrong? And if you don't eat everything, with the restaurant manager comes over and said, did we do something wrong? Was there something more we could have done for you? So for a light eater like myself, that's rather embarrassing because I usually send half my food back. But, on the other hand,
that's why they should let dogs in restaurants so they could go to the table and you could say, here.
I think that might be a good idea. Yeah, I think that might be a good idea.
It's a whole new thing. Well, go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
I was going to say the food thing is so interesting because one of the things that tripped me out about your article was the Hamon Museum and ham.
Jamon. I think it's jamon.
Jamon? Okay.
No, jamon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Spain it's Castilian, different than Mexican, when you start speaking Spanish. And so, but this is really, it's jamming, man. You've got a museum, but it's like a butchery and also like a market, but it's a museum. Like, am I getting this right?
That's so weird.
You are absolutely getting right, and this is one of, if you Google and you say what are the 10 most unique places to visit, not touristy places, but other types of unique places, this often comes up. And it's exactly what you said. It's huge. It's on a corner, and it's locals and tourists love it a lot. You're going to be there for a while. They've got, I don't know how they can even do this, but they have hundreds of ham things, bodies of hams running around all over the decorations and hanging, and people buy them. And then there's a tasting bar, and then you go upstairs and have lunch, or you can just sit at the counter and have lunch. And then they have all of the accoutrements that can go with it, knives, plates, mustards, all of that. It's just, ham is a very important product, Iberian ham especially in Spain. And
so did they do like things like here's Porky Pig, and here's the Three Little Pigs, like historical stuff about pigs? Just food pig.
It's just about the food. It's a foodie place, and it has. When you go there, you're going to. They call it a museum. I don't want you to think of it as a museum, and I don't exactly not sure why they think it's a museum.
Like
you would
it's
never,
the main
never
ham
in 100
attraction.
Years.
But you get
it's a main ham
there.
attraction, and you're eating. You're eating and you're drinking, and you're not really looking at pictures of ham.
So
you are not.
And you can
just,
have wine while you do this. There's wine.
You can have lots of wine, and
yay!
And it's just nice to see other people that have been tourists in there, and it's fun to see them get these big hunks of ham off the ceiling and stuff. I mean, it's just it's just interesting, and it tastes really really good.
That's so weird.
Well, I think, Stephanie, that, again, you need to have a paid trip over because I think the bourbon and the ham go, because so Stephanie,
bourbon glazed ham is really good.
Yeah, bourbon glazed ham.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
so,
Lord.
Kentucky
so good.
needs to meet Madrid.
There you go.
Yeah.
I
concur.
I know.
I concur.
There's always a connection, no matter what, So I like this, and hey, so I just find that really fascinating. I love places that have something completely
really
unique,
different.
And okay, so the other part, so 1 hour walks did happen out there, like that was also part of the life, right? That people got out and went and walked in their area.
And they stroll. Yeah, lots of families do a lot of strolling, especially on Sundays. Sunday's a big stroll day with the family, and you want to go into these big plazas, these big foodie plazas. There's one about 10 minutes, maybe 5 to 7 minutes up the road from the hotel we stayed in. Large plaza, but not overwhelmingly large. And I think they did it really smartly. Think of a square, and around the square are the restaurants. And then within the square is seating. Outside seating. So you could sit inside if you wanted to, but the majority of the seating is outside. And so the waiters come to you, and the trick is trying to put yourself in the right seating area, because if you think you were going to Johnny's, but you were sitting in Marty's section, you're not getting what you thought. So everybody else seemed to know what they were doing. We made a mistake on the first night, and then figured it out after that. But the weather is so good in Madrid, way through fall, way through fall. So some of their best tourist time is in the fall, late fall actually, because everybody else is turning cold and they're still 75 degrees and holding. So the nights get a little cooler, but not much. And so if you love the experience of al fresco dining and tasting things that you know about, but are authentic to where you are, this is what you do. You go into these plazas, and maybe every you could do lunch or dinner there, and you could figure out Johnny's one night and Ramon's the next. Very just very interesting to instead of getting bread on the table, the big thing is olives. So you can have every type of olive that you've ever been wanting. And gosh, you take that with sangria, and it's just like, yeah.
Yes,
I mean, for me,
I'm there. I love
sangria.
And then the other thing too is, when you think about this outdoors, and you're just, to me, again, it's quality of life. It seems to be, places that you walk, and it's like a big outdoor food court, but different, but historic buildings. I was looking at your photos of just this architecture, and it's just so beautiful. Did you see anybody playing live music in any of the places in the downtown area, the historic area?
Not as much as I thought I would, and I didn't know if it was a time of year or we were there midweek. We weren't there. I think we arrived on a Sunday, but we got there late, so we just saw the last part of it, and I think there was in the plaza later in the evening. But during the week, not so much, which was too bad. But you also have to remember, in these plazas, these food court plazas, there's so many different eateries. They would all have to agree on one. This gets to be tourism 101. They all are going to have to agree about who's going to pay for the, the entertainment. Who is it going to be? Flamenco? Is it going to be jazz? Is it going to be pop? Who are we looking for at that particular time? That would be my thought, but I could be wrong.
Well, and then there's going to be, are they going to be in front of my booth and then kind of block my way or attract more customers, or are they going to be too loud?
I want to go, and they have like,
No, I mean, it becomes like a duel.
I love that.
People,
it does.
You know,
you have buskers, outdoor performers to me is so cool.
That goes to the original setup too,
and
how to make it.
And I didn't see a lot of street performers
happy.
at all. I did not nowhere, which I thought was very odd. But maybe that's summertime, and maybe when you go in the fall, you don't see that. But who knows? I don't know. I was a little disappointed in that. But, of course, they have lots and lots and lots of nightclubs. It's a big deal there. I didn't go in to any of them this time, but they're plentiful, and flamenco is everywhere. And, you know, you could certainly, if you want to be entertained, there should be no problem.
Oh, one place, too, that I really want to go is the National Archaeological Museum of Spain, the Museo Arqueológico Nacional. I don't know, just trying. But the pictures and the exhibits, there's a skeleton in there, and that mask with the cowrie shells, because that to me just goes back to those ancient times of cowrie shells being used as money and part of slave trade. And when you think about Spain's history, and we've covered so much of Spain's history lately in different interviews and things, just the history of Spain and how they went out into the New World and wanted, like England, wanted to conquer everything. And part of our American history is so big with Spain. It's so, when you were in Madrid and everything you did in Washington State and Whidbey Island and, you know, when you went to American Camp and those places where Spain owned it for a while. And, you know, it's like Spain and then England came in, like here are the two countries that just want to take over everything. Was it like interesting going into this ancient, like, museum with this ancient history, and like these were the people, man, who were doing this.
I know, it's very odd to see. Well, you know, and as you wander around, you begin to understand. Well, you know, first you're in, you know, one set of people were there, and then, you know, you go 20 feet, and here's the other people that conquered here, and then here's other places they conquered, and you know, it's this mishmash of, you know, who's on first base. It's very, it was unsettling in some regards to think, why can't these people just be left to be who they are? Now, I realize that that's just a transitional issue, but, I mean, when I had heard of that there was the dramatic mask that I was able to get a picture of, somebody had said, don't make sure that you see the coin mask. And so I was looking for a mask with coins. I was looking everywhere. Where's this damn coin mask? You know, I don't see any mask with coins on it until somebody. I finally asked one of the docents, well, where's the coin mask? Oh, you mean the shell mask? No, I mean the coin mask. No, the shells are coins. You know, that's something that I, you know, then I thought, oh, you know, how stupid. How, you know, of course, you know, we haven't always had coins. We've had other things, but. Yeah, I think that was probably one of the best museums for that sort of focus that I've seen in a very long time. It's large, it's clean, it's well staffed. I mean, you couldn't go more than 10 feet without somebody, docent, ready to answer any question that you have. Beautiful. They let you get very close to things, and they've made big monuments of things, and I mean, it's just burial sites and all sorts of stuff. It's really, the fragile things are behind glass, of course, like the skeletons and so forth, but a lot of stuff is just right out there in the open, really something to see.
It's really interesting with cowries, and when we were in Kenya, I got to go snorkeling, and you would see live cowries on the ocean floor. Oh, yeah, and they're absolutely... Really,
they come in all sizes.
Oh, they come in all colors. Like some are spotted like leopards, and they're amazing little shell creatures. When you see them as a shell, you don't really think of them as a live creature.
Well, it's a cowrie shell, and crabs and things. All different crabs live in the different shells. It's odd. Like
it's more like a snail.
It's alien.
It's more like a snail-like creature in these little shells. And then when they wash up on the beach, they get bleached. And the ones that were worth more were the ones where they went out and got the cowrie shells.
Oh,
and so there's a value difference, and so that's how it became money.
Huge value, and that was the main source of slave trade, and Spain was huge into slave trade. Look at Christopher Columbus. But anyway, just saying. But it was.
Oops.
I mean, I don't look at America. You know, look at every country it's done this. But cowries, I learned about it from making jewelry. When in South Africa, I used to make jewelry and do beads and tell stories with it, and got into all these different cultures that I actually. That's all I would. I could write a book on it because it's so fascinating to me how language was through color and utensils. You know, like, or whatever you're using in the jewelry, like, you know, masks being part of that too. And, you know, you see like armor and how the different things that will be on a piece of armor will also go with the same, it's a story and a currency at times. So it's fascinating. I want to go there, man. I really want to go to Madrid. It looks so awesome. So, okay, I will not let you go off the show without bragging about your shopping.
Cool.
Well, the shopping, of course, is very urban, and it's so you have to be very careful when you shop in Madrid that you don't get stuck at the Coach store, the Max stores, and all the high-end stores. There's beautiful strolling shopping centers, outdoor shopping centers. I didn't bother to go into any interior ones like a mall or anything. I just I strolled on the really beautiful, they're just big, wide boulevards, and they're near the museums. And, you know, whatever it is that you're interested in, shoes, shopping, of any type, you know, are there. And it's, I think I was into shoes in that particular trip, but I went into the Coach store and I thought, I'll probably never see these particular items in the U.S. There was a couple of leatherwork items that I thought were just outstanding. However, I was in Macy's the other day and there they were, so maybe not so much. But, you know, then you have to really search and you really have to do your research to get into the small alleyways and the areas where there's local crafts and so forth, and local foods and local teas and all that sort of stuff. And so I bought several things there, and that I hope sort of represent the time I was there, which includes the violets, you know, and all that, and the special chocolates and all that kind of thing. But, you know, wherever you go, you certainly can shop. And let me tell you, you can certainly open your wallet in Madrid. It's quite an experience.
Wow. Uh-oh, Stephanie. Yeah. You better get an extra budget. I'm just saying.
Bring an extra
I know.
suitcase.
I'm gonna have to pick up a babysitting job.
Listen, all you do with the kids is give them a little bourbon on their lips and they'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
That's why I'm not a parent.
I think, Linda, would you ever consider doing The Amazing Race? Have you watched that show?
The Amazing Race. Oh, I should do that, shouldn't I? Wouldn't that be fun?
I think you would win.
You'd be just like, get away! I've got my shoes, and she'll just get people out with her shoes. I see it
because you have the experience and you know how to think things through.
Exactly.
I think that you and Ellen should sign up for The Amazing Race.
Let me tell you, it's called Virgo Qualities.
Well, don't you think they would be great on The Amazing Race?
I think so, because he can navigate.
Yeah,
I want to record it. I want to record it. I want to film every second of it.
Yeah.
Everyone, again, the article is up on blendradioandtv.com. You can see it now and see some of the photos up there now. Just type in Linda Kissam or type in Madrid. You'll find it on the website, but it'll be featured in the March-April issue of Big Blend Radio and TV magazine. Speaking of that, Linda's photo from Prague is up on the front cover of the January-February issue of Big Blend Radio and TV magazine. It's one of my favorite covers.
We love that.
With musicians playing on, that's how I had to bring it up because I love that cover. That photo is like one of my favorites, and we featured a couple of your photos on covers. And
that one came out clear. You remember my days of fuzzy pictures.
No, it was really cool, and it just has that life of makes you want to go to Europe.
It does. It makes you want to go.
It's all part of her shopping story, going on a Viking River cruise because she's a diva.
Yes.
She had this beautiful shopping experience. So go check that article out. Just type in "cruising for a deal," and it's cool stuff. And going from Prague to Berlin, I mean, just an amazing story. But thank you so much for joining us on our special 11th anniversary show. It's such a pleasure having you on the show all these years, and can't wait for the next time.
Oh, congratulations to you and Nancy and your support group back there. So thank you very much for having me as part of this day. It was really special for me. Thank you.
Thank you. And everyone, all in goodtaste.info because the diva knows taste, right? But Diva Linda, we're going to close with a song called The Travel Song, which was written and performed by your son-in-law, Misha Shelhoff, an incredible guitarist.
I like this song.
It's one of my favorites on his album, Double Take. Everyone's got to go check it out. We've also see him on Misha Music. Just type that in on our website, too, but go to mishamusic.com. Incredible album with incredible performers, too. He's just such a talent, and so we'll play this because this is your song for continued journeys through 2018.
And The Amazing Race.
That's right. All right. Thanks
and
so
The
much.
Amazing Race. I'll look into that.
I like that.
Ooh, do it.
Do it.
Well,
all right. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Here it is, everyone. Stephanie, stay on the line. We're going to talk about Kentucky in a little second, but here it is. Travel songs. Take care.